Hello students, today from this video let us begin with very first experiment of our engineering chemistry lab 18 CHE 16 bar 26. So now engineering chemistry lab, it is been divided into two parts, part A and part B. Part A experiments are all instrumental experiments and part B experiments are all volumetric experiments. So to begin with, let us just start with volumetric experiment. Very first experiment is your determination of experiment 1 is determination of total hardness of water. Very important experiment and very easy also. So let us just know some introduction before actually starting the experiment. So now principles of the experiment or some theory behind experiment. Now what is this hard water? We are trying to determine the total hardness of the particular given sample of water. Before that, let us just know what we mean by hard water and what we mean by soft water. In simple words, if water does not produce any lather with soap solution readily but forms a white precipitate is called hard water. On the other hand, water which lathers easily on shaking with soap solution is called soft water. This is a simple what you can say definition. So as you can see in this picture, soft water produced lathering, hard water doesn't produce any lather. So by this we can classify what is soft water and what is hard water. This is one of the basic experiment to know whether given water is hard or soft. Just add a few drops of solution into it and just shake it. If it lathers, then it is soft water. If it doesn't form any lather, it is hard water. But we, by doing this experiment, will not know what amount of hardness that water contains. Now what makes this water hard? So mineral present in water makes it hard. Now what is the difference between hard water and mineral water or distilled water? Distilled water is the water which doesn't have any minerals in it, only H2O. Now what is mineral water? Or drinking water? Water which has minerals in it but in a desirable level, within the limiting level. If the salt content or mineral content in water exceeds some limiting level, then it is called as hard water. So okay, so now hardness of water is of two types. Temporary or carbonate hardness, it is mainly caused due to the presence of dissolved bicarbonates of calcium, magnesium and other heavy metals, and the carbonate of temporary hardness can be removed by simply boiling. Temporary hardness it is. Then second type is permanent or non-carbonate hardness. It is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfides of calcium, magnesium, iron and other heavy metals. So these chlorides and sulfates cannot be removed by boiling. So permanent hardness cannot be removed by boiling. It needs some other treatments such as the hard water possessing permanent hardness must be passed through some filters, advanced filters, stuff like that, to ion exchange method, different methods. So temporary and permanent hardness together is called as total hardness. Now whatever experiment we are going to perform, it is nothing but total hardness. It is nothing but combination of both temporary and permanent hardness. Hardness due to dissolved carbonates, bicarbonates, hydroxides as well as remaining all we are going to determine in our very first experiment. Now how hardness is represented? Before going into calculation and all, we must know this term. So hardness is expressed in parts of calcium carbonate equivalents per million parts of water. If there is million part of water, then what part it contains, what part of the water, how many parts it has calcium carbonate in it. So it is usually represented in ppm, parts per million or milligrams of calcium carbonates equivalents per liter of water, that is mg per liter. So usually calcium carbonate present in water we are going to express. So what is ppm? The number of parts of CaCO3 present in 1 million parts of water is nothing but ppm. Now what is hard water, what is soft water? A small classification. Up to 50 ppm water is called as very soft water. 50 to 100 ppm water is moderately soft. Okay, then 100 to 150 water is slightly hard. Then 200 to 300 water is hard, but above 300 ppm water is said to be very hard. Okay, so now our experiment, we'll just move on to our experiment. Now first let us know which all are the chemical we are going to use in our experiment. First is standard EDTA, which is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Formula H4C10 H12O8N2. Now what is this EDTA? EDTA is a complexing agent. So what do you mean by complexing agent? Now see students, in the water whatever calcium carbonate is present, that we are going to determine, and ultimately we are going to tell what hardness is. Here hardness in the water is expressed in terms of calcium carbonate present in that water. So their calcium carbonate will be in the ionic form. Ca2 plus ions will be there, and CO3 2 minus calcium ion and carbonate ion will be there. So now whatever this calcium ion present in water, it is metallic ion, so it does not easily react with anything. For that we must use special chemical which are called as complexing agent. So here EDTA is one of the complexing agent which complexes with calcium and forms a complex of calcium with EDTA, which bears some color in the presence of the indicator. This is the theory behind the experiment. When we are adding the indicator in the titrant, it will bear one color because of the formation of EDTA and calcium complex, but at the end point one more complex will be formed that bears some other color. In this manner the color change during the experiment works. So here EDTA is nothing but a complexing agent. The second chemical we are using is ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer solution. Now what are buffer solutions? Buffer solutions are the solutions which resist the change in pH. So now why these buffers are added in the experiment in the determination of total hardness? See, during the reaction there will be liberation of H plus ion, which may result in lowering the pH. So if the pH lowers, then whatever chosen indicator for this experiment fails to give the color change. We don't want that to happen. For that we must balance the pH. For that we must add buffer solution. So now next chemical is dilute ammonia solution. So dilute ammonia solution here used to prepare EDTA solution. Here in the experiment the procedure contains two parts. You will understand it now after some time. Two parts. So first part is preparation of EDTA. EDTA salt will be given to you. You need to prepare first EDTA solution. Then you must go for the titration. The prepared EDTA you must fill in the burette, then you have to go for the titration. For that, to prepare the EDTA solution you must be using dilute ammonia solution. Then next chemical we are using is aerochrome black tea EBT indicator, which shows color change during the experiment, wine red to blue. Then hard water sample, of course. Then distilled water to prepare the EDTA solution, and as well as for rinsing purposes we need. These are the chemicals which we are going to use during the experiment. Now the procedure. Procedure has two parts. First part, preparation of standard EDTA solution. Now weighed amount of EDTA salt will be given to you. With the help of that, by using that you must prepare EDTA solution. Now let us see the procedure. Dissolve accurately weighed EDTA salt in 1 test tube of ammonia solution and transfer it into 250 ml standard flask. Then dilute it up to the mark with distilled water and mix thoroughly for uniform concentration. Fill the burette with this solution. Simple preparation. Here in the beaker, EDTA salt will be given to you. To that you must add ammonia solution and you must stir the solution properly so that EDTA dissolves in it completely. Then once it is dissolved, you must slowly transfer that solution into 250 ml standard volumetric flask. Then you must fill the remaining part of the standard volumetric flask with distilled water so that the total quantity of the solution becomes 250 ml. Then shake it properly for the uniform concentration, then fill the burette with this same solution. This you will understand when we'll see the video of the experiment. Okay. So next part is estimation of hardness of water. Now we have prepared EDTA solution and we have filled it in the burette. Next, what we have to do next is pipetting. Pipette out 25 ml of given hard water into a clean conical flask. Now whatever might be the given sample of hard water, you must pipette it out. How much? 25 ml into a clean conical flask. To the same conical flask you must add now 10 ml of ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer, and you have to shake it well. Then you must add pinch of Aerochrome black tea indicator to it. Now the color of the conical solution in the conical flask changes to red color. Now titrate this solution with standard EDTA solution which is already in the burette. Slowly you must release the flow of the EDTA dropwise. Then constantly shake the conical flask until red color changes to blue color. This is your end point, red to blue. You can take numerous number of trials, but 3 trials you must report and agreeing value you must record as your VEDTA. So which you will understand when you are when you'll go for the when you'll go for the calculation part. Now record the readings and repeat the titration for agreeing values. So this is your procedure. So next we'll observe the exact procedure how we are going to do. Experiment video we'll observe, then we'll go for the calculation. Okay students, now let us see which all are the apparatus we are going to use for the determination of total hardness or for any volumetric analysis. First is our volumetric flask. This apparatus is called as standard volumetric flask. Now this whatever particular flask we are going to use, it's of 250 ml capacity. Then a beaker, any beaker for that matter, for mixing purpose, any other purpose. Now this is the conical flask. Once again its capacity is 250 ml. In conical flask we are taking analyte and we are titrating. So now this is a pipette. Pipette is the apparatus which you are going to use to take out the prescribed amount of the analyte. Now analyte in this experiment is our hard water. So we are using a pipette to take it out. Then burette. In burette we are taking our titrant. Now this burette is of 50 ml capacity, so which is clamped to a burette stand. Now after that we are going to use dropper, glass rod, then funnel. Then in the wash bottle we are going to take distilled water which we are going to use for preparation of solution. Now these are the apparatus which we all require. Okay students, so let us just see which are the chemicals which we are going to use for the determination of total hardness of water. The first chemical which we are using is dilute ammonia. Dilute ammonia is used to prepare EDTA solution. Then ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer. Hard water sample, you can take any water for that matter as a sample in the determination. Then Aerochrome black tea or EBT indicator. EBT powder is crushed along with KCl and in the powder form it is used as indicator. The next is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid or EDTA salt. Like this, in the beaker, EDTA salt will be given, which for individual students, and they are going to use it for the preparation of EDTA solution. The next is distilled water. So in the wash bottle, distilled water will be given, which they are going to use to prepare the solution as well as for washing purposes. Okay students, so determination of total hardness of water has two parts in its procedure. First part is preparation of EDTA salt solution, and second part is determination of total hardness, that is titration to get the burette reading and all. So here first we need to prepare the EDTA solution. We already saw which all are the chemicals we are going to require in that. I told that we will be providing a EDTA weighed amount of EDTA salt to students, and they need to prepare the EDTA salt solution. Now how to prepare it, let us observe it. Okay, so here in a beaker we have EDTA salt. Now first we are going to add dilute ammonia solution into the EDTA salt, and we are going to dissolve it completely. Then once the EDTA salt is dissolved in dilute ammonia, we are going to transfer it into 250 ml volumetric flask, placing funnel on top of it so that nothing is wasted, not a drop of EDTA is wasted. And as you can see here students, in the standard volumetric flask there will be a mark till that it becomes 250 ml. We can't fill till top of the volumetric flask. Okay, so first we are taking now ammonia solution, dilute ammonia solution. Around 5 ml will be more than enough. Then we have to stir it so that the salt dissolves completely. Once the salt dissolves completely, we need to transfer it into a volumetric flask. Then repeatedly we need to give washings to in the beaker so that no traces of EDTA is left. As you can see here students, the solution is clear. That means all the EDTA salt is dissolved. Okay, now I'll add some distilled water into it so that the volume increases. Now here giving washing is very important, because if we are if in the beaker some trace amount of EDTA is left, then we may get different concentration EDTA salt prepared, and then there will be a difference in the burette reading. Okay, so one tap to the funnel must be given so that even a last drop must not be wasted. Okay, repeated washing. Okay, once we have done with the washings, we need to wash the funnel. Okay, then we must fill the volumetric flask with distilled water just below the mark. Now when the solution level in the volumetric flask reaches near the mark, we need to be careful. Slowly we need to add the distilled water. Then when it reaches very near to the mark, we must use the dropper, and drop by drop distilled water we must add so that the solution touches exact mark, which makes exact 250 ml EDTA solution. As you can see now, students, the lower meniscus of the solution touches the mark. Now close the lid of the volumetric flask and give proper shaking so that a uniform solution is formed. Okay, we have prepared EDTA solution. Now we have to fill the EDTA solution into the burette. Okay, before directly filling the solution into burette, just we need to transfer it into a beaker. Before that, beaker must be given with rinse of EDTA. Throw it. Then once again take EDTA into the beaker and fill the burette with the same prepared EDTA. Now it is nothing but our titrant. Whatever solution used to determine the analyte is called as titrant. Okay, once again rinsing of burette must be done. Okay, with the circular rotations, burette must be rinsed with EDTA. Decant it completely. Now once again fill the burette with EDTA solution. Fill the burette well above the 0 mark. Okay, well above the 0 mark. Why? Because at the tip there will be air column. We must remove that air column. To remove the air column, excess of EDTA must be taken first, then remove the air column. Yes, as you can see here, air column is removed now. Now make the mark or make the solution just touches the 0 mark, which will be exact 50 ml. Now we are taking now 50 ml EDTA into the burette. Clamp it properly. Okay, one part is done. We have prepared our EDTA solution and filled that prepared solution into burette. Now remaining solution will be prepared and kept. You must keep the burette stand at your 4-finger distance always. Now take the pipette out 25 ml of given hard water sample into a clean conical flask. Once again, pipette has a marking similar to that of your volumetric standard volumetric flask marking. Till that mark, it is 25 ml. As you can see here, exact 25 ml at this mark. Above the mark, below the mark, it is not 25 ml. Now transfer it into a clean conical flask. And once all the solution drained into the conical flask, just give a tap so that we are not leaving an excess drop into the conical flask. Next, in the procedure, we must take now 10 ml of ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer. One test tube full makes 10 ml. So carefully take 10 ml of ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer and add it into the conical flask. Now shake it properly so that everything mixes properly. Next step is to add indicator. Now we must add Aerochrome black tea indicator. Pinch of Aerochrome black tea indicator. Little will be more than enough. Yes. Now we'll shake it properly. Okay. Now this is the color at the initial level. There will the solution will be a wine red color or red color or wine red color. Now adjust the burette properly. One hand must be at the knob. Okay. Now before starting, first note down the initial burette reading. It is 0 now. 0 is our initial burette reading. Now one hand must be used to adjust the knob, to adjust the flow of the titrant. Then one hand must be hand must we must use to one hand we must use to hold the conical flask. Now shake the content in the conical flask properly. Okay, now what color we must get at the end point? Blue color. So slowly titrate it, slowly gradually the solution in the conical flask from wine red, it will turn to a purple color. So it is now purple color. Now drop by drop titration we must do until we are getting blue color. Now it's almost blue color. So make sure, okay, see here student, this color is our end point. So wine red to blue color. So one more trial we must take. Now once the solution in the conical flask turns to blue, note down the burette reading. So now it is almost 8.2. So now see, two trials I have done here. Blue color, wine red to blue color. So initially it was wine red color, now it is blue. At the end point the solution in the conical flask turns to blue. Okay students, so we have seen the way how the experiment is conducted and how the readings are noted down. We already know the procedure. Now we'll move towards the observation and calculation part. Okay, so in the procedure we have divided the procedure into two parts. First part was preparation of EDTA solution. Okay, when we are talking about solution, the concentration of solution is expressed either in molarity, normality, molality, etc. Particularly in this experiment we are expressing the concentration in molarity. So what we have done, we have taken weighed amount of EDTA salt into a beaker. We have added dilute ammonia to it. We have prepared a 250 ml solution and we have transferred into burette and we have done titration, but still we don't know what is the concentration of the EDTA we have prepared. First part of the calculation is to actually determine or calculate the MEDTA, which is X value, which is nothing but the molarity of EDTA. So preparation of standard EDTA solution calculation. For that we must know mass of EDTA dissolved in 250 ml. Now during your regular labs, for all the students, individual student, different mass of EDTA will be given. So whatever experiment today we have performed, for that I have taken 1.00 gram of EDTA salt. So my mass of EDTA dissolved into 50 ml is nothing but 1.00, which is nothing but W. Now how to get MEDTA from it? By using this formula, simple formula. Molarity of EDTA solution, MEDTA is nothing but W into 4 divided by 372.24. Now 372.24 is nothing but molar mass or molecular mass of EDTA salt. So W is nothing but weight of or mass of EDTA taken, which is 1 gram into 4. Why we need to do? We need to equalize the solution prepared to 1 liter. We remember students, just try to recall, we have prepared 250 ml of solution. So 250 into 4 is 1 liter. So we have to calculate MEDTA for 1 liter. So for that W into 4 we must do. Now just simple substitution. 1.00 into 4 divided by 372.24 will give you nothing but MEDTA value, which is 0.010 some value. So I have rounded it off to 0.01 M, which is nothing but our X value. Just remember this students, we are going to use it in the next calculation. Now next, after as soon as we prepared EDTA solution, after filling it in burette, we have started our titration. Okay, now what is the exact method or how to express it? We'll understand it. So now in burette we have taken standard EDTA solution. In conical flask we have taken 25 ml of hard water, plus to it we have added 10 ml of ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide buffer, and indicator we have used Aerochrome black tea. Then color change we observed from red to blue. First observations, these observations you must write. Then very important, tabulation, how to represent your readings, very important, contains maximum number of marks. So here like this your tabulation will be. So trial numbers 1 2 3, number of trials you can take, but you need to report 3 trials. So initial burette reading, so from where we are starting, so we are try to recall students, we are 50 ml capacity burette, we are filling it to top, which will be 0 ml, which is considered as 0 ml. Then slowly we must read it from top to bottom. So now after one trial we got first reading around 8 ml. So 8 ml I got. So last column is our, which is 8 ml is our final burette reading. Initially we have started from 0, then we got final burette reading 8.0. Then next will be the difference of these two, volume of EDTA solution used in ml, which is once again 8. 8 minus 0 is 8 only. Then second trial when we attempted, anyways only 2 trials I have shown you. Actually I have taken 3 trials. So for the second trial, before performing second trial, what I did, once again I refilled the burette. Either you can once again refill the burette, if you have sufficient amount of EDTA you can do that, you can once again refill the burette, or you can start from where you have stopped. I'll explain it to you now. So now see, second trial once again have started from 0 initial. I got 8.1, then difference will be 8.1. For the third trial what I did, I had directly started from 8.1. So what I have to do, I have to write initial burette as 8.1. Then once I titrated, I got 16.1 value. So difference of 16.1 and 8.1 is 8.0. I hope it is clear now, students. Purposely I have included this particular part. Why? Because there should not be any confusion. Many students do this confusion. They write 16 here, 8 here. So they report it wrong. Don't get confused. Now for third trial also you can start from 0. Once again you can refill it, or you can start from 8.1 itself. What is important? Noting the initial burette reading is important. Now after doing this, we have to identify the agreeing value, which is our VEDTA. So VEDTA is agreeing value is 8.0. So 8.0 ml is my VEDTA. This was our tabulation. Now we got MEDTA, which is represented as X. I have MEDTA value 0.01. Now I have VEDTA. Okay students, now after the tabulation we'll move on to calculation. So now for calculation we'll first consider a simple conversion factor, which says 1000 ml of 1 MEDTA will be equals to 100 gram of CaCO3. What do you mean by this? 1000 ml of 1 MEDTA is equals to 100 gram of CaCO3. That means if we have 1 liter of 1 molar EDTA, it will contain 100 gram of calcium carbonate in it. How this 100 grams? 100 grams is when we are calculating the molecular mass of CaCO3, it will turn out nothing but 100 gram. So therefore VML of XM EDTA is equals to 100 into X into V divided by 1000 gram of CaCO3. So cross multiplication, V into X into 100 divided by 1000. So 100 into we have X, which is 0.01, into we also have VEDTA, which is 8, divided by 1000. When we are doing, we are getting 0.008 gram, which is nothing but Y. For 25 ml of hard water, Y gram of CaCO3 is present. So for 10 raised to 6 or 1 million parts of hard water contains how much calcium carbonate? So Y into 1 million, that is 10 to the power of 6 divided by 25 will give you Answer: grams of calcium carbonate present in ppm. So now why we already got 0.008 into 10 raised to 6 or 1 million divided by 25 will give you the total hardness of water, which is 320 ppm of CaCO3. So total hardness of water is 320 ppm of CO3 equivalents. So this was the calculation, students. Thank you. I hope this experiment is clear to you.